This is Limit Break TCG at Anubis Gaming Hobby, giving you a mirror deck profile. First off, your leader. When this card attacks, place the top 2 cards of your deck into the drop area, and then if it's a green or a yellow in the battle area or drop area, you draw a card. Okay. The Awakened side, 4 or less life, you add a card from your warp into your hand. And on the Awakened side, if you have 5 or more cards in your warp, you gain crit. Crit's nice. Active main, once per turn, place up to 2 cards from the top of your deck to the drop area. And then the auto is naturally when this card attacks, you draw a card. Okay, get into the main deck.
What does it take to awaken?
I explained that. Then you play 4 Gohan. This is just a proxy for Gohan until he comes out. When the card attacks, you choose a card in your life, add it to your hand. He gains crit. Okay, and this deck fully revolves around crit, so you want to be getting that crit off as much as you can.
Yeah, I have the red and black that you want to save the picture. And I'll put that one. Unless like
Next,
and I can play with you to keep learning it. I don't know if you have.
For Dr. Zero, when you play this card, you look at the top 3 of your deck to add an android. Mira is an android, so I don't know if you can see.
I have a version of this deck.
Mira is an android, so you can search the main deck mirrors off of Zero, so that's why he's in there.
Like I said, I have red on my
This is the deck.
Okay, next, we got some more droids. Dreadful Duo 17. He's got crit. That's what the deck revolves around. Active main, once per turn. Tap a green. During that turn, if your opponent's battle card with a 3 or less energy has been placed in the drop by one of your skills, choose an Android 18 with the energy cost of 3 or less from your hand and play it. So, use this effect. The crit, if the card they send from the life is a 3 or less and you have an Android 18 in your hand, you can play her.
You know how we said that you would hard mulligan for this card?
And then we got 4 of the Dreadful Duo 18s. She has crit, and her active main, once per turn, tap a green. During that turn, if opponent's battle card with an energy of 4 or more has been placed in the drop area by one of your skills, choose one of your opponent's battle cards with the energy cost 3 or less and KO it. So same thing as 17. If the crit goes off and a card has been placed into the drop and it's 4 or more, you KO a card. Okay. Next, we got 3 Toa. I only play 3 because you got 4 Zeros. Zeros can search Mira also. So 3 Toa, when she played, look at the top 7. You add a Mass Sand or a Mira. Now we're getting to the mirrors. 3 Relentless Destruction. Overwhelm 3. When you play him with Overwhelm, your opponent discards a card. Next, we got the Crit Mira, 4 of him. This is a Mira heavy deck, naturally, because the leader. And Overwhelm 4, and then when it's overwhelmed, you gain crit. So, crit, the main focus point of the deck. Then we got Mira Dimension Breaker. Xeno Evolve 5 on a Mira. He's got double strike, and when a card evolves into this card, if you have 5 or more energy cards in your warp, choose one of your opponent's battle cards, send it to the warp, and if there's 10 or more, you choose the energy and send it to the warp. So that's big. This is probably the boss card of the deck, but you don't necessarily have to revolve it around him. He's just really good to have. Making them lose an energy is really nice, especially if it's an untapped energy. If they have to have 1 energy on untapped and you warp it, they have no energy now for negates and stuff like that, so that's real cool. 2 Increasing Evil Mass Sand, just some self-awakening along with the Gohan. Overwhelm 4, tap 1. When you play this card using Overwhelm, choose 1 card in your life, add it to your hand. If you do so, choose one of your opponent's battle cards with an energy of 5 or less and send it to the warp.
So that's why I say
So,
what you do,
you know, we're sending a lot of stuff to the warp with this deck, ours and theirs, and it's a lot of crit. So it's a lot of cards that they're not getting.
at the right moment.
Okay, super combos, the black one, Supreme Kai of Time.
Vegeta is on the field.
When you are at 4 or less life and you super combo with this card, the card gains 10k plus you draw a card.
So after you
Oh, I'm sorry, not life. If you have 5 or more cards in the warp. Okay, yeah.
at the end of your turn,
You
so you have no worry about the outcome of it.
2 dark plot.
Constantly gives pressure.
Only 2 because I don't see a need of really playing 3. You only need to really see it later on in the game. Active main, choose a battle card in your warp with an energy cost of 4 or less.
This deck, what is the most vital?
And if you use this card to play a battle card with Overrealm, choose 3 of your energy and switch them to active mode. So it's a little bit of energy recycling for, you know, more plays in the same. You can use this to grab a Mira. So if you have a Mira in the warp, you use Dark Plot, grab it, and you play it, switch back your energy, and then now you have enough energy, hopefully, to go right into Dimension Breaker. So.
It's 3.5 by 2.
Yeah, looks like 2 and 2.
3 Korean androids, because I don't see a point in really running 4 when you have enough searchers in the deck, like Toa and Dr. Zero. It's basically a trade-in. You draw 2 cards, discard 1, so it fuels your warp.
The apes
And another thing I forgot to mention is the Mira leader. That effect on the unawakened side, when this card attacks in the top 2 to your grave, that also fuels your warp, because this is also a lot of you know, sending your drop area to the warp to play cards. So this fuels that along with this. So it's nice to have. It's a draw 1 plus a fuel your warp. Now into the negates. 4 surprise attacks for self-explanatory reasons. If you negate the attack, and if your leader is an android, which Mira is, you can place a card in your hand to the drop, and if you do so, KO an opponent's battle card with 3 or less energy.
So that's why it's a late game card. So
And then we got 3 times judgments. Negate, you can send 2 cards from your hand into the drop to add it back, so that's also fueling your drop for a warp later on in the game.
it shuts off
So that's real nice.
all skills everywhere.
Yeah.
Side deck is only 6 cards right now because this deck's kind of not necessarily finished. 2 Chilling Terror androids for the leaders that like to draw cards when they awaken. And Iron Hammer of Justice because he is a blocker with revenge. So it's nice for giving you a little bit of protection, and getting rid of barrier cards because of the revenge. And then once you, if, for example, if they have a card and they attack your 16 and you block with it, if you end up comboing out to save him and the card is KO'd with revenge, he can stand back up because of his auto. When he KOs a card, he stands back up. Even if he KOs it with revenge, if you save him, if you combo enough to save him, and he KOs the card and you're still alive, you can reactivate him to block again. And that's the list for now. Thank you.